Right, I'll let you pick, Donna. You can have the gas station attendant or Surf Dracula. So, this is the story of Surf Dracula. Once upon a time, there was a very famous vampire called Dracula. Dracula was a ruthless killing machine that fed on his victims, but in his spare time, he just loved to surf. However, contrary to popular belief, Transylvania wasn't really well known for its big waves, so Dracula decided to pack his things and relocate to sunny California. He was short on funds though, so he got a part-time job at his local Tesco stocking shelves and worked there for the next 3 months, saving up as much of his pay as he could. After 3 months though, Dracula got fired for eating Brian that worked on the delicatessen counter, and the manager was very strict, and that sort of thing was frowned upon in that store. Luckily though, the money that Dracula had saved was just enough for the plane ticket that he needed, so Dracula packed his suitcase, 10 Hawaiian shirts, 5 Speedos and a pair of Crocs. He headed to the airport and got on his flight. He was sat next to a beautiful woman called Michaela Goodwill on the flight, and he tried flirting with her and asked if she would like to grab a bite to eat sometime, but by the end of the flight realised she wasn't his type. Wasn't his type, blood. They parted ways, and once they got there, and Dracula spared no time in getting changed, he ripped his shirt off in the departure lounge and tore off his pants, which I forgot to mention was sparkling sequin studded glitter pants with velcro down the sides like male strippers wear, so he could tear them off easily. He had his Speedos on underneath, so it was okay. He didn't want to get arrested in the departure lounge before even getting a chance to surf. He ran as fast as he could to the exit while slathering on his Factor 1 million sun cream, as he had a mild skin condition which caused him to burst horribly into flames if he was out in the sun without his cream on. He sprinted across the road from the airport to the local beach, where he pushed a child over and snatched the surfboard out of the boy's hands and said, "Surf's up, dude!" That boy would become an accountant later in life, but that's not relevant here. Anyways, Dracula swam out to sea with his newly acquired surfboard and caught some huge waves. He was having the time of his life. All of a sudden, he felt something hit the back of his head. It was an orange, thrown by none other than Lou Ferrigno, who used to play the Incredible Hulk in those Hulk movies back in the 70s. "You ate my brother!" shouted the former Hulk actor. Dracula only just remembered that Brian from the delicatessen stand was called Brian Ferrigno, Lou's lesser-known brother. Lou threw another orange at Dracula, then stared at him for a moment before swimming out to sea to never be seen again. Dracula caught a few more waves before heading to his hotel. When he got to his hotel, he sat in the bar and got himself a drink, when who should stroll in? Why, none other than Michaela Goodwill. She was staying at the same hotel as him. They spoke some more and decided to have dinner together. They ate and drank, and Dracula told her all about his favourite podcast, Surf Up North. While he was talking, Michaela was cutting up her juicy sirloin steak when some of it flew off the plate and hit Dracula directly in the chest. "Oh no! A steak to the chest!" Dracula screamed. Obviously it didn't cause any harm. He was just concerned because there was a butter stain on his favourite shirt, and it was going to take at least a 90-degree wash to get that out. He stood up in anger and said harshly to Michaela, "Good evening to you," before turning round to leave. Unfortunately, as he turned, he stepped on the buttery steak and slipped. Both feet flew in the air as he flew back first into the table. It would have been okay, but Dracula had been eating Kung Pao chicken and landed on a wooden chopstick. It penetrated his back and went directly into his heart. Ever since he was young, he had always been extremely allergic to chopsticks in the heart. Michaela gasped in terror, then asked for the bill. The waiter came over and recognised Dracula from earlier in the day and said to Michaela, "Oh, this is the man that stole my son's surfboard. He was so traumatised by the experience that he may never become an accountant now. It will take years of therapy before he even looks at doing finances or bookkeeping at his finance and bookkeeping after-school club. This man got what he deserved, This meal's on the house. Michaela went home with the waiter that night and lived happily ever after, and had another son with him, which they named Dracula 2. The end.